I gained 26,000 followers in less than 6 months, and here's how you can too. Yaho! Welcome back if you're new here. Hi, my name is Pat, the ugly expat in Japan. In today's video, let's talk about the 3 things you have to do to grow a social media following or to blow up on social media. But you might be wondering, why am I talking about this when in fact, I have less than 100 subscribers on this YouTube channel and less than 250 followers on my Facebook and Instagram account. Well, I'm going to talk about my experience growing my old Facebook page. At the beginning, it was actually very simple. I didn't have a team, I didn't have connections, and I didn't even have an audience. I just made 3 decisions that actually worked. First, this might sound cliche, but I chose a niche. I think a lot of gurus out there, a lot of YouTube gurus or social media growth gurus would always tell you to start with a niche. And I actually did that one. I chose the IELTS speaking tips kind of niche. I took the IELTS test 3 times and I consistently got a high score. So I wasn't guessing what to post. I was just sharing what I knew already worked for me and for other people who were preparing for the IELTS exam. And I think people can feel when you really know what you're talking about. For those of you who are not familiar with the IELTS exam, people take this English proficiency test if they aim to study or work abroad, especially in countries like Australia, the UK, New Zealand, America, or maybe even Ireland. And it's also interesting because some universities here in Japan actually require people who are, applying for a spot in the university to submit an IELTS exam result. So even if English is not really a major language here in Japan, universities sometimes would ask hopefuls or applicants to submit IELTS test results. So the second thing that you have to do to grow a genuine and engage active social media community is to set a goal. On social media, I believe content creators are divided into 2 groups. The first one are the content creators that has a goal of informing or educating their audience. And I fell into that category in my Facebook page during that time. The other group basically are here to entertain people through their funny videos, maybe interesting stories, or they produce a lot of engaging and, mesmerizing challenge videos. I think those are also entertaining. But for me, my goal was clear. I wanted to share some information on how to get good scores in their IELTS test. I just wanted to help people who were preparing for the IELTS exam. And I didn't really think about, going viral during that time. To be honest, I started that page around May of 2022. I just went back to the Philippines, came home after 5 years of living and working in Osaka. I had a job during that time, but I was not really happy because I wasn't paid that much and the company was somehow pushing us to always go an extra mile. I don't want to bitch about that company, but yes, I just thought it was not worth it to work at that job. So I thought of making contents just to divert my attention and be productive. And lo and behold, that page blew up in less than 6 months. Every post I made was simple. I always asked myself, will this post help someone or not? Because if it did, I posted that video or that infographic. And if it somehow didn't help or didn't align with my niche, I didn't post it on that Facebook page. And third, I stayed consistent. I posted around 3 reels a week and daily infographics. If I remember it correctly, May and June, I only started with infographics, like pictures, texts, images about common questions that are asked in the IELTS speaking test. That was a daily thing, but it was sometime in mid-July of 2022, I started playing with reels. On my 9th reel, that was when things started becoming crazy. Everything blew up. I was really just shocked. I had an online class and a lot of notifications were like popping on my phone screen, and that was then I hit virality. It was on my father's birthday. People were like preparing outside for our special lunch. I was there working. I had an online class, and then the notifications just started popping, and I was so excited I couldn't concentrate on my online class. But yeah, even on days when I didn't feel like posting it, I posted something on that Facebook page. And it's just quite shocking because the video that I least liked somehow managed to pull most of the followers and the right audience. So yeah, and let me talk about that viral moment. It was really weird in a good way. Everything started to work. I had one reel that the first one that reached virality, it was being shared like around 2,000 times. It gained 2,000 plus shares and reached 800 million views. I was so, no, sorry, not 800 million, 800,000 views. I was so shocked by the sheer amount of, people who were able to see and watch that video. After that one, it didn't stop there. Another reel reached 1 million views, and then the other one reached 2 million views. So I was just blown away by that experience. Aside from the views, the shares, I was also getting daily messages. I know that in the Philippines, a lot of people are, preparing for the IELTS test because many Filipinos are dreaming of living abroad, aka escaping the Philippines. That was it. I figured out the Facebook algorithm, and oh, I just noticed there's an interestingly weird looking toy beside me. Let's take a look. Looks kind of creepy though. Yahoo! Sorry about that, I got distracted. But going back to the video, after I reached that viral moment, things started to change. The messages from people I didn't know kept coming. And at some point, I couldn't keep up anymore. Because again, I was basically a one-man team during that time. Even until now, I still am. But yeah, I wanted to reply to everyone. I wanted to be helpful in their IELTS journey, but just basically became totally impossible for me to be of help to all of those people who messaged me. And then I noticed something. Not all the messages were about IELTS. Some people just wanted to talk. Some were lonely. Some conversations didn't have direction. Even some of them were creepy, and I didn't know how to handle those. Then the comments started changing too. I think it was a big mistake of mine because I looked into the shares and I wanted to see who were those who shared my videos, my reels, and there were some of them who tagged their friends who were preparing for the IELTS test. And I was really happy because somehow I was able to achieve my goal of helping people because they tagged their friends just to lead them to my page and give them some tips on how to prepare for the test. But some of the people who shared my reels, my videos, didn't have the right intention in mind. And that was when I realized social media is not the safest place to, build your confidence, build your self-image, or just basically for your mental health. Some people started criticizing, making fun of how I spoke, how I looked, and how I presented myself. During that time, I was on the heavier side. My face was even rounder than it is now. So I wasn't prepared for any of that. I always knew that my English communication skills were not that bad. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm good enough, or so I thought. Seeing those comments repeatedly started to affect me. I wouldn't say I completely broke down because I really knew that my English speaking skills were good enough. In fact, I was able to land an English teaching job in Japan. Even until now, I'm still back here teaching English, and I was able to get good feedback, positive comments from English native speakers who were my supervisors back then. So yeah, I really didn't mind at first the comments I was getting from fellow Filipinos who made fun of how I spoke, how I looked, and how I presented myself. But I think there's a thing that we call repressed anxiety. Like even if how much we try to shrug off the reasons why we feel anxious, we feel depressed, signs will really show. And on my end, I started having terrible stomach aches, headaches. During that time, I didn't want to go out because I was afraid of being recognized and, being mocked. So that was how I thought that that viral moment was somehow a blessing and at the same time a curse. But basically, it was more of a curse because there was one notification that I received that made me decide to just end it all. I completely decided to just delete everything, all my videos, all my posts, basically everything that I started in that Facebook page because of my mental health and of the content monetization violations that I committed in that account. So if you are trying to start a Facebook page or a social media account, take note of the three things that I did to grow and also this big mistake that you have to avoid in order to be successful in monetizing your contents. The big mistake that I made was that I wanted to post, daily and consistently. So what I did, I just downloaded the videos that I uploaded on TikTok and on Instagram Reels, and I posted them directly on my Facebook page account. And I think that's a big no-no because the watermarks of, TikTok are shown on the videos and also watermark of Instagram can be seen. That's one thing you have to avoid if you want to grow on social media and monetize your contents. Avoid using content from other social media platforms because it would be flagged as reused contents. Now, I do have something to ask from you. I'd like to know your opinions and get your advice because even if I have been inactive on my Facebook page about IELTS speaking tips, it's been 4 years, that page still has around 23,000 followers. I lost around 3,000, but still, it still has the numbers. And I recently checked that my page, since I deleted all my videos, my contents there, that page is already eligible for monetization because there are no violations found. I just need to post again because one of the requirements is to post maybe 3 reels again. Now that it might even be eligible for monetization, here's my question, and I'd like you to give your advice, give your opinions in the comment section. Should I bring it back but do it differently this time? Or should I just grow a different social media account, start a new page? What would you do if you were in my position? Start over or try again? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you next week. Mata ne!